All right, today we're diving into something kind of wild. It's an idea that completely rethinks a simple action, one you probably do hundreds, maybe even thousands of times a day. We're talking about the mouse click, but not as you know it. Let's get right into it. The cognitive click.
I want you to just imagine this for a second. You're sitting at your desk, flying through your work, but your hands, they never even touch the mouse. Instead, every single selection, every click, it just happens because you decide it should. So what if you could click with just a thought?
Now, this isn't science fiction. This is the real premise of a fascinating experiment. The whole idea is to see if we can totally replace the physical action of clicking a mouse with just the brain signals that fire off right before you move a muscle. We're talking about a click powered purely by your intention.
So, what does that even mean? Clicking with your mind. Let's break down what's actually going on here.
The goal here wasn't some abstract, far-off lab experiment. It was super practical. Can brain signals actually truly replace physical clicks in a totally normal office setting? The kind of repetitive, heads-down work that a lot of us do day in and day out.
So, how is any of this even possible? Well, it all comes down to one key piece of technology, the neural headband.
Okay, the fancy technical name is a neural interface controller, but really the best way to think of it is as a translator. It literally listens to all that electrical chatter happening in your brain, your synaptic commands, and then it converts them into an action a computer can understand. In this case, a simple mouse click.
And what's really amazing is how accessible this technology is becoming. We're not talking about some multi-million-dollar medical device here. No, the headband actually uses consumer-grade EEG sensors. It's kind of similar to the tech you might find in some of those wellness or focus apps. And it uses those sensors to read the very specific brainwave pattern for the intention to click, completely bypassing any physical movement.
So the process itself is unbelievably direct. It's really just 3 steps. 1, you simply think about clicking. 2, the headband sensors immediately pick up that neural signature. And 3, the computer executes the command. Just like that. Thought becomes action. No muscles required. So, okay, the tech is there. It works. But can it hold up under real pressure? And that brings us to the test itself, which you could really only describe as the ultimate office gauntlet. Right off the bat, this test wasn't some quick 5-minute demo. We are talking about a full 8-hour workday. The researchers really wanted to know if this was just a cool party trick or a tool that could actually withstand the real demands of a real job.
And what could possibly be more demanding than an 8-hour spreadsheet grind? I mean, it's the perfect test environment, right? This kind of work needs precision, it needs repetition, and it needs sustained focus. It's a true trial by fire for any input device, let alone one you control with your mind. So this all sets up a pretty fascinating showdown. In one corner, you've got the good old mechanical mouse, which takes physical, muscular effort. And in the other, the neural headband, which relies entirely on your brain signals. The trade-off here is crystal clear. You're swapping the physical strain on your hand and your wrist for the mental strain of constant directed focus. And all of this leads us to the central question of the entire experiment. Is this technology a genuine breakthrough for how we work, or does it just create a whole new kind of bottleneck? I mean, really think about that for a second. When you click a mouse, you get that satisfying little tactile click. You hear it, you feel it in your finger. So the real question is, can our brains actually handle complex tasks for hours on end without that physical confirmation that, yep, we did the thing? And right here, we get to the researchers' core hypothesis. They basically suspected that while the idea is revolutionary, the sheer mental effort of having to maintain that kind of precise focus for 8 straight hours, it could create what they call a digital bottleneck. It's like your brain is a highway, and each click thought is a car. If too many cars try to get through at once without the physical rhythm of a real click, you just end up in a mental traffic jam, and everything slows way down. So, the crucial point is this. It really just boils down to a question of endurance and efficiency. Over the span of a full workday, is the mind, which is untethered but can get fatigued pretty easily, is it actually more efficient than the hand, which is, mechanical but also incredibly reliable?
And that leaves us with a really provocative final thought. We've seen technology evolved from command lines to mice, from mice to touchscreens. The results of experiments just like this one are going to help us answer the next huge question. Is the human brain itself the next computer mouse?